Funny.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm here with my friend Seth, Checkmate Flips from Instagram. He also has a YouTube channel, which is linked below, so go check that out. And we're just kind of gonna answer any of your questions, talk about what's going on. Yeah, I guess just see where it goes from there. What's
Yeah, man.
been going on?
And it's always good to talk to you, John. So I think this will be fun.
No, definitely. How have you been?
It's been good. I saw your video. June was a disaster, and we were kind of talking about that before we got on a couple of minutes early, and we're talking about that. But yeah, June's been a little bit rough for both of us, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
Like we're
for
fine.
me, for me, I feel like it's almost like not doing the books and stuff and really focusing on OA. It's in that build phase again. Like when I was with books, like it was super stressful. Like building it up, like trying to figure stuff out, like learn some tough lessons. But now, like, and then I was just getting momentum, and then for anyone who doesn't know, like my prep center just kind of like stopped working and has a ton of inventory. So then like making that pivot, having to find another one and doing all that stuff. But hopefully from here on out, it should get better. I think like one of the big benefits too is like Q4 is just around the corner. While, you don't want to just bank on that, but that could like really send things the other way. I mean, November, December, January, I mean, could be really big months to kind of offset some of this.
Yeah, this is a thing that I think about sometimes. I feel like people talk about prep for Q4, and sometimes they think about like it's like buying and holding stuff. Like, yeah. I mean, that is a strategy you can do, but I think the best thing you can do to prepare for Q4 is do a ton of test buys on stuff that's going to be good year round, because it's just going to be that much better in Q4.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And yeah, I feel like too, I think if you're not like holding, like doing crazy, I got burned on a lot of Legos last year doing like the hold and flip or buying stuff that like was so high in volume that everyone's like, oh, Amazon's definitely going out of stock. And they didn't. So I think I'm just going to kind of play it's safer this year and try not to chase like bolos, just kind of sell more what I'm selling. Yeah, I probably will a couple, but not anything crazy like last year.
Yeah, it's also one thing we were talking about before. You were thinking about like transitioning to more like boring items, but for Q4, like I feel like the apparel like does do really well.
Oh, definitely. And that's kind of too, I think one of the biggest advantages for me was last year was my first Q4. So now I have like a whole list of stuff that I bought last year that was like super profitable. So like it's almost like you have a head start. Like it's going to be real easy to just pull that stuff up, see if it's still profitable, see like what it's been doing lately. Is it still like even popular, stuff like that. And then I think another thing that has been good is using SellerAmp. Basically, I have like a button on there that basically has like a tab for Christmas. So like all stuff that I'm seeing that's like out of stock or just kind of misses like the profit margin that I think will actually sell for higher prices in Q4. So I'll have a whole list of that stuff like ready to go. So I do think like almost probably in my opinion, the best way to like kind of prepare for Q4 is definitely just to kind of have lists and go over old stuff that like you've done. And yeah, I think like sometimes people just like way overthink it and it's like, we got to get all these hot toys and this, but like literally everything sells in Q4. Like no matter what you do, it's like pretty much unless Amazon jumps on the listing and just has a ton of stock.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as regular sourcing. It's just like, does the data say that there's going to be good sales? Like, you should probably buy those items and like potentially test buy them before Q4 so that you have the confidence to go deep on things that are good and then you don't go deep on things that are useless. So
Yeah, that's one thing I have to figure out as well is kind of the prep center, like how much I want to like kind of test that. Because with some of the stuff, like I know last year for Christmas, a lot of the stuff I was buying uh was kind of higher end, like $30, $40 to start. So like to
Buy cost.
pay taxes on that, right? Kind of sucks, but like is the prep center gonna get it out? And like will Amazon get it checked in? Maybe not. So like I guess you have to balance that all the time.
Like you're talking about sales tax.
Yeah. All right. Says, does ROI and seller amp pre-calculate the FBA fees to give you the ROI? If not, can you input them? Yeah, it automatically calculates the FBA fees. Some things you might want to keep in mind. You might want to put in if you're paying sales tax. They have like a percentage box in the settings. So if you pay like 6%, like make sure you put that in there, so you don't have hidden fees. If you're using a prep center, you could put a standard cost in there as well. And you might want to figure shipping to Amazon. So I put like 40 cents in there to kind of cover it. It's a high estimate, but I'd rather it be high than short.
And in the settings of seller amp, isn't there like a setting that you like you were saying 40 cents per pound shipping, and then it just does the calculation there?
Yeah, everything's broken down, and it's always a good idea. So it's hard like not doing this visually, but when you look at seller amp, there has a fees bar that will pull down. You click on it and it will show you all the fees. So it'll show you like the Amazon fees. It will show you a prep fee if you have in there. So you want to make sure like all your fees are actually like being accounted for in there. Yeah. So what else have you been up to?
Yeah. So today I did something that I almost never do. I spent 3.5 hours straight listing eBay items, because I've basically had a pile of like removal orders that have just been piling up for the last couple months. And a bunch of stuff, like some stuff came back and like didn't have the cord. Some stuff came back slightly broken. So like a lot of like weird for parts listings. Some of those just selling without the cord. Just I almost never list on eBay, so it was just like, well, this is fun.
Oh God, it's hard. Like I'm like in the big process of, so I'm not gonna do like merch filled books anymore to
Oh,
stay on like shipping time. So I'm in like the whole process of going through all the books. Like I basically just rescanned all of them and
uh-huh.
made like piles to send to FBA. Some of the stuff's like no longer profitable, so I got to get rid of that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just like funny like to go through everything and like kind of send it there and like just really focus on OA. But it's like been a ton of work to go through like all my eBay listings, like reprice everything because I got to get like everything like situated and like ready to go for when this lease is up, like just to like get out of here.
When is the lease up? I feel like,
February.
oh, you've been waiting for that for quite a while.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, once I have all that kind of stuff lined up, yeah, it'll be pretty clean break. Yeah, I can't wait to get out of here. I love the warehouse. It's just not, I don't know, it's just not what I want to do. Like I want to be able to like source from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of be able to do that. I probably will get like a smaller space to have like YouTube or do stuff like that out of. And like maybe some like most of my stuff goes to a prep center. So I might actually just like keep doing that. But there's some like fast moving stuff that like I'll prep or whatever. So to have like space to do that would be nice. So I'm gonna look into that a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, at least to a warehouse. Let's see. Oh, do you
What's up,
guys
Tim?
do fulfilled by merchant? And if so, when doing it, do you calculate shipping when deciding on a price to list it for on Amazon? This is kind of, so I do books. I merch fill books, and when I'm using the software I use to scan it, I use Palette IQ. That I'm pretty sure accounts for the profit, like they kind of have some shipping calculation built in there for it. But for books too, most of it, yeah, they definitely do. You could set something. But books, you're not really paying a lot because you could ship it media mail. So like the average book is probably shipping for, I don't know, like $3-ish, $4. So it's not, I mean, shipping Legos could be really expensive if you don't know what you're doing. I would probably say, I'm pretty sure you could go, oh, what is it called? There's something, I can't think of it. A lot of people use it for eBay. It's like a shipping pirate ship. I think it's pirate ship.
Yeah, pirate ship.
I think they have a calculation estimator possibly. So I mean, you could definitely go there, and wherever you are, like put it the furthest away from you. So if I'm in PA, like I put in like a California address and know that it probably won't be more than that.
I'm an FBM virgin. I don't do FBM.
That's funny. All right. Hey guys, quick question. Test buying for variation listings. Do you guys like to focus on small batch of one variation to start or several, assuming several variations look good? Thoughts? For me personally, I like to do, so if it's like let's just say it's like a Nike shoe or like a flip-flop or something like that, I'll definitely go for like probably like 5 of each profitable size that I think as like a test buy, and then or maybe 10. It really depends. But if the listing looks good overall, I definitely probably 5 to 10, and then if I can replenish it, I'll make a decision then. But usually with stuff like that that's on sale and everyone's buying it, it's the price is definitely going to go down. I would just kind of look at the break even price and see if you're still profitable there, and if it's ever been at that break even. And if it hasn't, I think it's pretty safe. But yeah, what do you think?
I definitely, like, I usually do a calculation of like how many items per variation would sell in a month if I was completely in stock. So I do that whole calculation with Jungle Scout and the reviews. And it's not an exact science, but it's, and then I usually like cut it in half just to try to not be overstocked on stuff and get stuck with a bunch of stuff because you can make mistakes with variations. It's a weird game with those. So I would usually try and test by, I mean, why not test by several variations, but just like don't test by super hard. Unless you can't get it anymore, like John was saying, or like it's a low price for just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, if you're shopping like a sale, I think it's OA Deals on Instagram. He was talking about whether you think a price will tank. And it's like if the sale is on like Target.com or like Walmart, like there's a good chance it will. But if it's on like a smaller website, like a more niche website, you have a better shot of it not tanking. So like I'm definitely taking that more into consideration. Let's see here. Book prices in my area, Northern California, has increased by 35%.
And so have gas prices.
Yeah, I mean, for books, I have not been thrifting in I don't even know how long. But from what I hear, the prices are almost double or triple for where they were. Goodwill and Salvation Army and all those guys. I don't know. They're trying to recoup money that they lost over the pandemic or what. But yeah, I've definitely heard things getting more expensive. Some of these guys are also starting to sell on Amazon themselves or kind of do other e-commerce stuff. So yeah.
I mean, Goodwill has Amazon stores.
Like, oh yeah.
They have massive Amazon stores. The MF.
In Texas, they built like a $10 million facility or something like that just to do Amazon.
They've been selling for years.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, FBA books only.
Yeah, RW is a FBA guy only.
Yeah. I'm going to FBA myself. Nice. I did 5 of several different variations a day. It felt like a safe bet based on the data.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's always good too. Another thing that I like to look at is the whole year, like the listing's whole history. And if you could really see like the pattern of it going up and then going down and up and down, it's kind of a little safer too, because like you could tell that it was on sale and like it creeps up and then like everyone comes on and it goes off. So like if you're not like on the down trailing, if you're kind of more on like the up of that, that's another thing to look at and see what the listing's done in the past.
And this is also a kind of an add-on to talking about variations, but like when it comes to like looking at a variation and like trying to see how much it's gonna sell, oftentimes people just look at the rank or like look at how much a variation's selling, and they kind of forget how many sellers they're on. Like there's some really fast sellers that are like high ranks in categories that for some whatever reason they have 3 or 4 people on the listing only, and like it stays at that. Like not too many people get items like that, and they sell as if they're like top 1% in that category. So like thinking about how many people are actually on the listing is helpful.
Yeah, I think to build on that too is like you were saying, like 3 or 4 on the listing. You also have to take, I know a lot of people, and I do too, like you want to look at buy box percentage, but just remember if there's only 3 people on it, if someone's holding it for like 33% of the time, like there's only 3 people on it. So like, it's not like it's going to be super, super even distributed. So I think that's definitely, damn, $7 a gallon. That's crazy. I have a Jeep, and for the first time, I was kind of like on like, hey, you need to get gas. Like light went on. It costs $71 to fill it up. I was like,
dude,
oh God.
I paid $95 the other day.
Jeez, what is gas there?
It's like I think it was $4.80. I was like, I had been driving with the light on for a couple miles, and it's like a big car. It's an SUV.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
How's it going with your VA? So for my VA, it's going pretty well. They're getting better. Today did not go well because I don't know, there's an issue with the internet or something happened over there. But yeah, he's definitely getting better. I think one of the hardest parts for me about having a VA, which is obvious, like when you're getting a VA, I think a lot of people think that all of a sudden you're just gonna get like all these leads and like you're just gonna sit around and like buy them. But like
sit around on the beach with grapes in your mouth.
Yeah,
and just
it's
like
a constant, like you're teaching them like every day. Like every day I go through the leads, I give them feedback and like, hey, this is why this is good, this is why this is bad. If I feel like he's struggling somewhere, like I'll make videos around that. And kind of working through like a system that like makes sense. Like I think sometimes people don't think they're actually like people. Like it's weird. Like they're an employee pretty much for the most part. So what that comes is like questions, issues, like I can't work today or I'm going to what, like it's not just like magical person that just like does everything and there's no issues around it. I don't know, how's it going with your VA?
it's been good. It's all of that is true. Let's see. It's when I was in having a virtual assistant was the most useful when you're really trying to expand your catalog a lot. That was so helpful for that because if there was ever a rabbit trail I wanted to go down, I would have her go down the rabbit trail and just give her like some instructions. Are you muted?
No, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. Cool. But yeah, it's been going good. Yeah.
You want to explain what a rabbit trail is in case people don't know?
It's just like, let's say I was purchasing this weird ketchup that's regional or whatever. I don't know, just something like that. And then you also see that this brand has a regional mustard or like a regional like just something similar to what you've been purchasing, instead of like you sitting there and like storefront stalking all these people or like checking everything in the brand. You just send Roseanne or your virtual assistant an email and say like, hey, like I was sourcing this, like, can you storefront stock all the people on this listing and like look at everything else in this brand and like put out the data in your replenishable sheet. That way you can just like vet everything the next day.
The thrift stores in my area all sell on eBay. Yeah, I feel like
Better than Amazon.
Yeah, it's the natural progression as people see. Like, I feel like I felt this with Facebook Marketplace. That's how I started. I started doing furniture, and like I was probably one of the first kind of people to do it on eBay as like, or in my area as like a business, not just like putting a table up or something. And like after about a year-ish, like you saw more people that were definitely like flipping the stuff and like offering to pick up stuff for free. So, I mean, while thrift stores, I do think a lot of them don't 100% understand like how much work goes into something like that. I don't know. It should be interesting to see if they kind of stick around. I almost think it'd be easier for them just to liquidate and like sell like pallets of books to people like me, but I don't know. Maybe it is worth their time.
I mean, if they have an Amazon store and they can merchant fulfill a $90 book and do entry, like that's worth it.
I do think a lot of those places where I don't know, I would assume their ASPs are a lot higher. Like they're not doing $1 profit books. Like they'll put that out for display, but
yeah, when I was doing books, probably late 2020, I sourced at a lot of libraries, and like libraries were telling me, like I was talking to them, like asking like, when do you put the books out, etc. And they saw that I was an Amazon seller, and they're like, oh yeah, like we scan our books and like our minimum profit is $10. I'm like, interesting, because I found a $60 profit here last week, but whatever.
Yeah, I think that's also too, is they're not Amazon sellers. So you have to take that into account.
Yeah, they're employees who don't care.
Charts, or they don't know, like, I don't even know. Maybe they use Scout. Like, I don't know what the hell they would use to list or do whatever. But like, obviously, they're gonna miss some stuff. And
yeah.
Isn't the Cupid chart an ASIN specific to each variation? The Cupid chart is specific to each ASIN, but the overall sales rank and usually the estimates are for the parent ASIN. Did I say that correctly? It's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I said it out loud.
So
like with a Nike shoe, if there's like, it says it might sell like 10,000 times a month. That's for like all sizes, all colors, all everything. But if you clicked into the ASIN, you'd have to go, I think it's the data tab, and then you click offers on Keepa, and there'll be like a tally at the bottom how much potentially that one actually sold. Not 100% accurate, but it gets you a better idea. We're almost down to $4. Damn, that's nice. I think we're around 5, I think.
Yeah, you're around 5.
Let's see here. Had a VA for 2 weeks, and I've gotten maybe 2-3 decent leads. There's definitely a learning curve on both ends. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, that's kind of how I went with my VA. I would say one of the most helpful ways was either live sourcing with him to kind of show him, hey, like this is what I'm looking at. There was like a big like kind of gap between what we were both thinking, kind of how we scrolled through stores on SellerAmp. They almost thought they had to go through every listing, but like it was kind of like a recognition of, hey, I would just get rid of this store, like nothing's coming up. Or I've found the best way too is to make Loom videos of me sourcing. So Loom is like a free video tool. I think it's like $10, and basically just screen records you. So sometimes if there is a listing or a product that I want to buy that I know he would like struggle with because it's not super obvious, like there's something weird with the Keepa or it doesn't make sense, I'll just make a video about that product and be like, hey, I found this product today. it's kind of crazy if you see something like this. Like, it's cool to put it on the sheet.
Yeah, I like to make an SOP for like storefront stocking, a SOP for like how to find items without storefront stocking. So like if you can make those systems for yourself and like try to follow the system as if you're an employee for yourself and then give them that manual or SOP or whatever you want to call it, that's really helpful. But you're probably already doing that.
Yeah. VAs are an unneeded cost. I work a full-time jobs and still send an average of 100 to 200 items a month. Well, I mean, if you're doing it yourself, fine. Like, I mean, good for you. But I actually really don't like sourcing that much. So I kind of like to wake up and have leads for me and kind of, I would prefer just to make YouTube videos all day, actually. Kind of just network and like help people on Instagram and do stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's also cool to be able to pay someone about $4, $5 an hour and like give them like an amazing life. Like, as crazy as that sounds, like to us, like that's nothing to us. But like for them, it's actually like a really good lifestyle there, and they're super appreciative of that.
See ya, Alyssa. Yeah, if you want to make YouTube videos all day, why don't you like do clearance RA and like record it, or like estate sales, or like book thrifting, or like I feel like that type of content like does well and like on everything.
And maybe consider. I'd rather just do them like online sourcing or stuff like that. Like, I feel like when you go out, like it gets more complicated. Like, even though I have a GoPro and stuff, it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just easier to do it here.
That's great.
How long have you been doing FBA full time? I think it's 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years.
Really nice.
What about you?
I've been reselling full time for 3 years, and FBA like a little over 2 years now.
Nice. Watching, come on, people. Yeah, everyone, like the video. Come on. It's so weird because we don't see the screen. Like, it's a totally different screen for me.
Yeah, I don't even know how many people are watching.
I have no idea.
But
hello from West Virginia. What's up?
West Virginia.
I'm listening, guys, but I'm late, so no worries. We're gonna post it anyway, so you could always just watch back if you want to.
Yeah, that's what I do with lives.
Variations on Keepa will tell you the other variations and which one is selling the best. That's correct. Yeah, if you sort it by the ratings, that's usually how you could find. Oh, all right. Peace out, Elisa. I think that might be it.
Yeah, back to the VAs are an unneeded cost comment. I mean, that's super subjective. Like, you can have a VA or you can't. If you want to run a super lean operation, like, it makes sense to not like have expenses. And sometimes it also makes sense to have things that are going to save time, especially if you're a little bit bigger. So
yeah, I think it's also like, what's your goal? Like, if you already have a full-time job, so like, I don't know your situation, but like if it's just extra money, like, yeah, you might not need a VA or want a VA or whatever, but I don't know. For me, I like having one. Just find it helpful. One of the things, I think one of the biggest benefits is it's like an extra set of eyes. So it's a different perspective. They find a lot of unique websites that I've never even heard of that are actually like legit, that I wouldn't find or think that like were legit, but they are. So I kind of like it for that aspect as well. Hello guys, what's your favorite stores to source online? Oof. Oh, you could take that one first.
eBay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. For me, I mean, I feel like I've liked Kohl's a lot lately. They've had some good sales. I don't know. I do really well at Target, actually. I do a lot of like media, so like DVDs, CDs, stuff like that. So I really like them. I don't really have any issues with them. I would say, yeah, the best stores are almost, or if you're shopping at big stores, you want to do it in niche categories. Like, so maybe like just shoes, or like you don't want to be sourcing like Cheerios off of Walmart, because like that's going to come up in TA scans and stuff like that. Maybe you want to do something more specific, or just have in mind that that stuff is more likely to tank or lose the
My
price.
entire store is cereal.
Oh man,
I do 200K a month cereal.
that'd be. I bet you Amazon Lit does like 200 grand a month in selling cereal.
In like in everything, like cereal, Pop Tarts.
TA run.
Have a good day, man.
Yeah, peace. Goals to go full time. Nice.
I'm curious what your like how much money you're needing to make to go full time, because people have a very different perspective on that sometimes, depending on like what stage of life they're in.
Yeah, that is a good point. And was it you that was saying don't get a summer job selling Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting. And I was like telling my girlfriend, I was like, I never really thought about that. Like, it's definitely like, it'd be much more feasible. I mean, if you had like, I don't know, especially if you started like thrifting books or like flipping stuff on eBay that's used, you could easily make like probably the 2-3 grand you're going to make at a job.
Right. Yeah.
I work full time as well. I think the first step of outsourcing for me will be your prep center. I don't mind the sourcing. Yeah, I mean, I love using a prep center. After having a very bad experience with one, I still wanted to get another one. So, I mean, that's kind of how much I like having a prep center. There's definitely advantages to it. I would just say, yeah, you really got to just track the inventory. Good. I would say definitely call them up and like talk to them to make sure they're kind of legit. And yeah.
You could also start by like sending 30% of your inventory or like a certain couple items to a prep center. And
yeah, that's actually a really good point too.
If you're patient with it. Or you could just go 100% full in right away.
True.
Either works.
10K is the goal.
10K a month profit.
Sweet. Yeah,
that's pretty hefty, but
yeah, that would be
if I had waited until 10K a month to quit a job. I guess for me, my value is to just not work a job. Like I'd be okay with just like making ends meet in order to not work a job.
That's kind of how I am. Like
that's how I feel.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you also have to realize that 10K, like obviously, you know, because you sell on Amazon, like it gets tied up in inventory. Like to pull out 10K a month profit, like you got to be doing some serious numbers.
Or like just stop scaling for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that too.
Or to do it consistently, anyways. I guess you could pull 10K from your like you spent money on a credit limit and then you get the money back. And
yeah.
You pull 10K and then you're like, well, I can't pay my credit card.
I think an average of 4 to 6K now.
Very nice, very nice.
That's all. I would bet you though. Were you the one that said like you don't need a VA? Like if you got a VA and doubled the amount you bought, like you'd be at 10K, probably in like 3 months. If they were like trained and like you got them up and running, because you'd probably double the lead flow that you're getting once they're trained.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like when you're at that level, it's kind of like, well, let's just expand on what I have and leverage a little bit or reinvest a little bit.
Yeah, because I think that's where like the holdup kind of comes sometimes. It's like you're doing like really good 4 to 6, but like you're gonna hit a ceiling like if you're just doing it part-time, just because like there's only so much time, there's only so much you could buy kind of. So yeah, having more profitable stuff to buy is usually a good answer for that.
John, do you have a site that you do like a majority of your purchasing from? Like you don't have to like necessarily say it, but
I actually don't. So I recently did the OA challenge again with Chris Grant and it was awesome. Like I just kind of did to get a fresh perspective. A lot of people, as you know, they're just like, oh, like just reverse source, like use seller amp and just do that. And while that like works really good, and like I do that a lot, there's so many other ways to source. So I kind of wanted to get some like fresh perspective on kind of like that. And Chris Grant is like a ninja Keepa guy. Like it's insane. Like the stuff I learned about Keepa, even using Keepa, like knowing it, how to use it for a long time, like just to see some of the stuff he's been doing with it it's crazy. So yeah, I forgot where I was even going with that. So he mentioned something which he said that instead of he's going like deep, he's going like very short. So he's looking for ASINs basically that can make him $50 a month at least, and then just building a huge category. And then the basis is that like you'd have so many items listed that even if some tanked, like you just have so much to pull from. So once you build like this huge category, like you just keep like cycling through. And like, so I think that might be like the best bet. And I think it's more stuff that's like common, like maybe some grocery or seasonal stuff. And he actually says he looks for like replens that, like the definition for him for a replen is basically something you could just make money on consistently. So it's not all the time. Like it'd just be like, hey, this like blue cup sells 100 times like during Christmas. Like it's technically a replen. You can buy it every Christmas. So I think like stuff like that. And same with the sites. I've been trying to try a lot of different sites and try to stay off of like the Walmarts, the Targets, and stuff like that because everyone's sourcing there.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. If you can get off it's a cool barrier to entry too, because so many random sites, like some of them do cancel like extremely heavy, but if you can find the ones that don't cancel.
Yeah, for the new sites, I will definitely say, I think like if you're going to a site for the first time, I'd probably order like between 3 or 5 just to test the waters. I feel like 3 or 5 is actually like a reasonable quantity to buy of anything. Maybe not 5 pairs of shoes, but like 3 to 5 of like a beauty item that's on sale. They're kind of like they just want to stock up on it while it's on sale, like stuff like that. So yeah, with new sites, I definitely went the other way, like trying to buy 10 of one things and like they automatically are canceled. And some of them like block your IP like crazy. Like I've tried different computers, different actually like Wi-Fi's and stuff, and like it gets blocked every time. It's crazy.
So you're saying that you are able to buy like 3 to 5 on some of those cancel sites, and then you just come back in several weeks and you're able to buy 3 to 5 again.
Yeah, for those. And that stuff's more like high end. It's not like I'm buying like 3 to make $3 on each. Like it has to be like 10 or 15 bucks. Like kind of like in that $50 range profit to kind of get from those.
Yeah.
And then too, looking for other sites that also sell that or stuff that's similar to that. So you always have like a couple sites to buy stuff from. Oh. Yeah, so I'll probably have my daughters do the sourcing for me. Oh, that's awesome. I don't need to do this full time. I leave my job. I own a house and I'm debt free. My husband works.
That's a great setup.
Yeah, that's the best setup too. I mean, I think that's what it like comes down to. I know Caleb Roth talks a lot about this all the time. It's like he always says like, what's your number that you would be happy with or that like you want to retire with? And then like how do you get there? And then like once you get there, like do you want more? Or like if you're cool just making like an extra 3K, I mean that's crazy. I think sometimes we get it like blown out of proportion that most people would say like on Amazon, like, oh, like it's just 3K. But like that's like a decent salary for like some people, like especially if it's profit.
Especially when you own your house and you don't have a mortgage payment, 3K is amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's a nice vacation, like, and you're doing that every month. So I mean, I think it's definitely perspective, and that's kind of why like Amazon's so nice. Is you just get that you could do as much or as little as you want, and yeah, you can just kind of do whatever you want.
See ya, RW.
Oh, see you, man. What's your current biggest challenge? What's yours?
Mine is kind of dealing with being able to do enough volume with eBay to Amazon and like other online arbitrage to deal with not having receipts for a lot of the stuff that I have. So kind of transitioning into being able to like do a bit more volume has been a challenge.
So are you trying to do more like new stuff now?
I'm doing a bit more new stuff, just like for volume.
Nice.
Yeah.
For me right now is kind of transitioning like fully out of the book side of things, kind of getting everything broken down. I'm most likely not going to have this warehouse in February. So there's a bunch of stuff that I need to sell and kind of do that. And probably the biggest challenge is getting a hold of the prep center right now that has all my inventory that's not sending it. So, but I mean, for something like that, I feel like it just bothers me, but there's really nothing I can do about it, but like source more profitable inventory. So.
I definitely had a thought the other day that I'm like, should I just like contact an attorney and like have the attorney email her? But I didn't want to like whack her with a bat like that. So
Well, funny you say that because I'm in a paid Facebook group, and like I just like couldn't source today because it was just really bothering me. Like I don't know, just say like you're busy and like I'll get to it in 2 weeks. Like fine. Like I don't even know if like she has inventory. Like I don't know if it's like not delivered, if she's like shut down. Like I don't know. And there's a handful of people we both know that use them that haven't had shipments go out. So it's like, what is the deal? And that's what someone said. They said like you should get a lawyer to send a message, a letter. And like everyone's like, yeah, you definitely should. Like some of these places like close up all the time, and like there's not much you have like recourse wise if you just like wait it out. I actually it was crazy. So in this group, people were like really supportive, and one person offered to like go there. They're like driving through, and they're like, "Oh, if you want, I could like check up on your inventory." But then I was like, as much as like I appreciate that, but like if something were to go wrong, like I feel really bad about that. Like I don't think like anything would, but like I've never been there. I don't even know what the place looks like. So yeah, I was like, I don't know. And then then that like kind of got like the thought in my mind. I was like, I know Taylor's having trouble. I was gonna like text him today.
Taylor still has his stuff there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last time I talked to him like last week. I want to be like, yo, you want to like go down there and like split like an Airbnb and like just go take her shit and like prep it and then get the hell out of there.
Oh my gosh.
If it's there, but it's like, what happens if like she really did close up shop?
I don't think she's closed up shop. She's just like completely overwhelmed and not doing a good job about hiring people, and like just way too many people sent in stuff there. Yeah, I mean, goodness, if it does go on another like week or two, like I might actually like pursue that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. That's the hardest part. It's like when you own a business, like everything's your fault. And this one, like I don't know if I would have played it differently, but after having this happen, I definitely would. Like everything was literally going fine until June came along. And then June it just stopped. And I actually hit like a really big sale, probably spent like 3 or 4 grand. I was like, everything was fine. And then crickets. So I mean, luckily I'm like far enough into the business that like I could take that hit. But like if it was probably like, I don't know, you're up to like 11 grand over there. I know someone who had like I think 20 or 30 there. I mean that
I mean, did Romer get his stuff out of there?
I don't know. I know someone sent me a video he made about it. But yeah, I mean that's just kind of unfortunate. Do you guys have specific goals? Do you have specific goals?
So I was scaling really hard, like March through May, and the spend goals were like anywhere between 10 and 20K a week. And these days it's more like I've been doing more like 3 to 7K a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was 1,000 a day. But I quickly realized that it was kind of I should have went like a little slower. And that's it's almost better to buy or not buy something than to buy something that's not a good fit or kind of on the fence. So I'm like hovering now. I'm like comfortable saying like $1,000, or probably like 5 to 7 a week. Is definitely kind of the goal. But it just really depends on the week or like what's going on. But yeah, it just really depends. I think it's sometimes it's hard to have like hard set goals because things change all the time. I know you were saying you have like some IP complaints, so like maybe you're not taking chances on like a new brand you haven't sourced. Like you just change your strategy, like maybe volume is less or whatever. So like you say, hey, I'm sourcing like 10 things from this brand every day. Like that could change like tomorrow, and like you have to find another brand. So I think it's just like a sliding scale of like what's going on, what you need to do most.
Another thing too with spend goals is like spending 5K on like a week or two of inventory is so much better than spending 5K on like 2 months of inventory. Because like that stuff is going to hit the warehouse and like sell immediately. But like if you just tie up your money like super deep, um, it's just, I mean, long term, it's the same and it's the same amount of effort, but you'll make the money faster if you send in less.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. It's like I definitely have experimented with being like I'm only gonna buy something if it could sell, if I could send 18, so like this shipment doesn't get split. But like it would work for a good bit of stuff, but then it wouldn't work for other stuff. And then there were some items where that were like 50 or $60. I'm like, ooh, to buy 18 of these, it's like, ooh, that's crazy. And so I wouldn't normally buy it because it'd be such a crazy spend off the bat. But buying 5 of them is like totally fine. And then I've learned that those sell really well. So now it's like doing 10, now 15, and like just kind of working my way up that way. So yeah, I would say too, I would try if you're just getting started or just depending on your budget, I'd rather you go wide and like not cheap items, but like $20-$30 range items. I think like sometimes I know I used to do it in the past, like try to source more expensive stuff to hit the spend goal, but you're only buying like 2 or 3 of them. Like the other day, I bought this electronic that I typically would not buy, but it was such a good deal I did. And they were $70, I think. I bought 5 of them and they all sold out luckily, but now the price is starting to go down. So if I went like super deep on that, like I would be like kind of, yeah, not feeling so great about that right now. But yeah, I think, yeah, the more items you could like have too, like the less risk you have. Hey, what's
What's up,
going
Joji?
on? You guys have fulfillment center? Yes, I do.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, there's interesting. So I was listening to something the other day. I think it really depends on what you sell too. When it comes to prep centers, I did a video the other day about like things to look for, but it's really just studying. If I sold a lot of groceries, I could probably, well, groceries kind of lower margin, but if you had the margins that worked, I could use a prep center in PA because we don't have tax on groceries, sales tax on groceries. Someone was saying the other day, I think Texas doesn't have sales tax on supplements. So if you were sourcing like supplements and like there's a prep center there that was doing it for $1 or something, that totally makes sense because that's normally what you buy. Um, and after my whole like experience with this prep center, I'm like really thinking about like getting another one as well and just kind of spreading some stuff out. Um, but I don't know. It's kind of really depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean it's like another, like sales tax at the lowest is like 4 or 5%, right? Like
Yeah.
most it's like 6, 7, or 8%. So, oh yeah, prep
Oh
center.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean like being able to source and have another, like for me 7%, like that's like really freeing and really nice, and I can.
Yeah, I mean that could be like make or break on some stuff too that's on the fence.
Yeah.
And then yeah, when you add like cash back and stuff like that, like it's even more, I guess, lucrative. What's some stuff you have like coming up that you're working on?
For me, one like a fun side project to Amazon is I'm learning how to resell tickets. So I think that's going to be really fun.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, like for concerts and stuff.
I actually think that will be really good because I feel like people are probably have missed going to events like that. So they're, who knows, maybe it could be like really lucrative. And yeah, so how many have you bought so far?
I bought it's kind of been a slow start, but I bought 2 tickets, and like those tickets sold amazingly fast. Like they sold within 5 days. For like, I think it was only a total of like $25 profit, but I'm like, yeah, this works. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the platforms you're using or no?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
or would
and then
you?
I also bought another 2 tickets for another show, but um, I'm in this group called Ticket Flipping, and it's like a monthly membership type thing. They also include like a course in that group as well. That is like, you just get it for the monthly membership. So got to learn a lot of stuff.
Wow, shit.
So that it's a good deal. Like I feel like I learned a lot, and it helps me get better at it. You basically buy from Ticketmaster, and then there's a software called Listed that lists all of your tickets to all of the different resale platforms. So instead of just listing on StubHub, which is like the main one, you can list it on like all the other ones. And yeah, so I mean that's kind of what you do. There's also a software that like when you're in like a concert, you can click it and you can see how many tickets are available out of the capacity. So you can kind of see the data on like, okay, like this one only has like 400 tickets left, and it's a 6,000 person stadium, and like it's in September, so like there's a good chance it's going to sell out, and the price is going to go up. So yeah, there's a bunch of different softwares with it too. It sounds like a fun thing to do. I'm not going to talk about it too long because this is an Amazon stream, but it's a fun side thing. Yeah.
No, that sounds like really cool, and like, yeah, really interesting too. I feel like a lot of people, depending on what you're buying, definitely will pay a lot of money for like people they want to see, because it's almost like an experience. Like, how much more will someone pay for a pair of sweatpants? Probably not that much, but like,
people like sweatpants.
Yeah, or it's like their last show here, or like stuff like that. Like people,
yeah,
for that.
You can also use Rakuten as well for ticket selling too. So that's sometimes it's like 3%, but I just saw this.
Do you include Rakuten into your calculations? I personally don't. It's more of a cushion. I use it the same way. I feel like I'll answer it 2 ways. So when it comes to just normal cash back, I don't include it just because sometimes you don't get it. And number 2, I'd just rather have it as extra money. But I will use it if I'm using, so Rakuten has a gift card shop. So you could go buy like gift cards for like 10% cash back. So if they had $100 to Target, let's say, and they were offering 10% cash back, I would like buy stuff at Target at like 10% off, basically. And the reason is because like the Rakuten already hits your Rakuten account, so it's like guaranteed. So it's another way to build in like some extra margin.
Rakuten also takes a while to pay you too, so takes longer than the flip time on your stuff.
I think it's quarterly.
What's that? Is it quarterly?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, cash back is definitely a really interesting. I want to do probably more experimentation with like gift cards and stuff like that. Because it's just building. I think a lot of reselling though too, we're selling on Amazon, is figuring out ways to, yeah, like get like sales tax free, discounted gift cards, like hitting sales. Like the more stuff you could stack on top, and all that stuff takes extra work to do. So a lot of people don't want to do it. So if you could just build in like an extra 10 to 20%, like before your stuff even like gets to Amazon, I mean, like you're in really good shape.
Part of me sometimes has just wanted to purchase like a ton of fast moving inventory that's like not even that profitable, but to just run it all through the Capital One Spark and just like spend $100K a month and just like have another $2,000 worth of just straight cash back profit. And then like if the other stuff sells for something like great, but like I don't know. It's obviously a stupid business model because like stuff can get lost or something, but like the Capital One Spark is just like a straight 2% cash back. And if you're spending numbers, like that's a big deal.
That's a really big deal. Like, too. Yeah, I mean, someone was saying that.
Easy too.
Huh?
It's easy too.
Yeah, I forgot who the hell it was, but they were basically saying that like some people just resell for like cash back. So like if you go through their store, you're like, how is this even profitable? Like Amazon's on, like all this stuff. They're like, oh, they're just doing it for like straight cash back. They don't care about making a profit.
Yeah, and I mean you can't sell your stuff at a loss, but
yeah, it's also it's definitely that stuff is crazy. Like even though too, it's like if you're spending like a lot of money on like Nike.com and you're getting like 8 to 10% cash back, I mean it's a lot of money, especially if you're spending like 10, 20K a month. I mean, it really adds up.
Yeah, spending that much on Nike sounds like a nightmare, but
yeah, I haven't really sourced much from Nike. I've done it like once or twice. I think the stuff I did buy like kind of tanked. But yeah, that's kind of like one of my bigger focuses is for the upcoming months. It's going to take a little bit of time is to kind of get out of apparel a little bit because of like the high return rates. A lot more people are starting to like get into that.
Boring stuff.
Yeah, boring stuff and like niche websites. I'm trying to think of like sites. I don't know, I'll just let people know, but like stuff that like as a business, like Home Depot is a great example, right? Like someone buying like 100 like light switches isn't like uncommon because like maybe they're like working on a big building or something like that. Like it's not really good. They don't care because there like a lot of people would do that or like it's not out of the norm. If you to buy like 100 light switches from like I don't know Walmart or Target, like you definitely get flagged like hardcore. So more stuff that like maybe businesses would buy. I mean, you probably saw like a lot of stuff that like businesses buy.
I get so many business customers because it's like docking stations, printers, like tools, etc.
Yeah, and I kind of like the space too because like it's a lot of stuff that like I don't know. I own a business and like I buy a lot of stuff and some people look at it as like a write-off. So like at the end of the year, like it's kind of great because whatever people are more willing to buy extra ink or whatever the hell they're going to do, or I don't know, I buy tons of printers and stuff like that for
what thermal printer do you use in your warehouse, John?
For me, I use the Rollo.
Oh, the Rollo. That's like the one thermal printer I don't sell.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
you never find it profitably.
I think they're on a lot of listings too, aren't they?
Like the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was never able to find it. Like nobody lists it for a discount on eBay like regularly, so I was never able to find that one.
I think it's just such a great printer. I love that printer. I've had the same one for like 4 or 5 years. And I probably have like 2 or 3 extra ones now. Just because when I had a lister and then there's a listing station. So each like it's kind of annoying to like
have everything use the
keep
same
moving it around. It's just easier to like buy another one and connect it to like a different print or a computer rather.
Yeah, for a while I had someone listing, like I would source books and then I would drop off the books like outside her door.
Yeah.
And so I set her up with a thermal printer, and like she had her own one. And then I tried doing that for RA from like with this teenager, and that did not work out well at all. But like
That's what I was doing too with books. Like I'd drop them off or she'd pick them up. And then
yeah,
she had like basically the setup I would have at my warehouse, like the Rolo, the Dymo, all that kind of stuff. And it's just like kind of too, I kind of learned with that. I know a lot of people say that's crazy to like buy them like a new Rolo and Dymo and stuff like that. But like you have to also like expect, like you have to set them up to like win. So like if you're expecting them to do the job like somewhat on the pace you could do the job, like they should have the same equipment that like you have, because it's just not fair. Like you can't be like, oh, like list the same amount of books with like 30 up labels. Like that's totally crazy. Like that's not gonna work.
Or you can go to UPS store and print them out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like
what?
Or being mad, like, yeah, you just gotta have them like set up. Like she had access to like the UPS account, and like she would just like schedule pickups or do whatever she had to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always funny. Let's see this. Let's keep it part of Seller Amp. No, keep it as a separate software. I forget. I think Seller Amp kind of has like a keep a chart embedded, but I don't know if it's an actual keep a chart. It might be like Seller Amp data. Not 100% sure, but
I don't think so. I'm gonna take a look.
Yeah, I know like when you look at someone's page, there's like what looks like a keep a chart. I don't know if that's exactly a keep a chart though.
Oh, like when you're storefront stocking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure then.
But yeah. Yeah, I feel like I just use the on-page keeper. Also, how do you create your listings? Are you creating a fresh listing with keywords or copying top? No, I don't even know how to create a listing, to be honest.
Yeah, so Ryan, whenever you purchase something on Amazon to sell, what you're trying to do is, instead of marketing and like getting to people to buy your listing, what you do is you purchase a listing that you see is already getting sales and a lot of traffic, and someone else has already created that, someone else has already taken the pictures of that, and you just send it in under that listing.
I kind of would be interested in like potentially learning how to do it in like terms of like a bundle, like if something was selling really good, to try to like jumpstart like just having the sales for yourself kind of deal, if it made sense. But I haven't really gotten into it, and then it's like I kind of saw someone do it. I think I watched a YouTube video on it, but I don't know. You got to get like barcodes and stuff for this stuff, or I think you could apply for exemption or something. But like you basically have to have like a SKU for it, basically. And I'm not I really don't want to do that.
When there was when I did retail arbitrage at Walmart, one of the things that I was looking for were like the Pioneer speakers in the car section. And there was a commonly, like a lot of the good ones were out of stock, but there was one that was like semi often in stock. But this one, there was a listing where it was this speaker and like Alpha Sonic headphones, and there was no actual listing for just the speaker. So like you had to sell it with the headphones. So like I tried like even purchasing the headphones and then combining them together, but like they kicked me off the listing. So that's just like a way that you can differentiate your listing if you want to be very, very professional about it. But
yeah, there's the craziest one I think I ever saw was, it was 2 bags of peanuts, I think, that you could buy at Walmart. And then it was like a pack of gum. Mm-hmm. Like there is like definitely a bundle just for the 2 pack of peanuts that wasn't profitable. When someone added a pack of gum, it raised it like $5, and the pack of gum was like 75 cents. But I think they were the only one on the listing. And like I was like, maybe I'll try to do this. But I didn't have a prep center at the time. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time like bundling this and kind of doing this. And then supposedly those people kind of like try to tank the price and like get you off the listing.
There was also another one from Trader Joe's. Like there was this like, I think it was like grapefruit body butter or something, like a 2-pack, and then they like include like a private label spoon. And like,
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen that.
yeah.
Some have like measuring cups
Yeah.
or like a carrying bag I've seen before. Just real I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like how effective that actually is, or like how much you'd potentially make more. Like, is it worth the effort? I don't know. For me, probably not.
It's kind of a different business model.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's definitely a different business model, and I feel like you don't. I don't know. I don't want to be messing with that for me personally.
But that's the reason it works too. So
Yeah. Tyler.
adding a tote bag.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I know sometimes around the holidays, or like someone would be like, "Who the hell was the jerk who like added like an extra dice to the Monopoly or something like that?" And so like it basically screws up the listing. So that's one thing that like can happen is you could be on a listing. This happened to me the other day, where it was like a 1-pack of vitamins that was selling for a crazy amount of money, and then someone added a 3 to it, so it was now a 3-pack, and then 2 people returned them. They're like, I was supposed to get 3 and not 1.
So do these people just like sell out and then they're like, sweet, I'm sold out, let's change the number?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know if I don't even know. I think you have to just like apply, or you have to submit it to Amazon. I think they have to approve it. Like I don't think you can just change it. But yeah, it's like pretty crazy. So it could like really mess things up. Didn't realize until after all my units sold out without the tote, luckily. Yeah, I feel like that too. Like if you ever in that situation, there have been some listings like I've come across lately where the picture shows like 2 boxes, but it's only the title only says it's 1 box, and nowhere else says that it's 2 boxes. So a good way to check it out is to definitely go to the comments or like the feedback. If people are complaining about it, usually I would just like stay away from that. If they're not, I mean, I don't know how long the listing was changed to 3, but only 2 people returned it. So either I don't know. I feel like I buy stuff on Amazon all the time, and if I thought I was getting 1, and then I looked at the list, like I don't think I would be like, I think it was 3. I don't know. Depends, I guess.
Yeah, it's just better to just stay to the basics, and like especially if you're just getting started, like get some sales with like some regular listings.
Yeah, that's actually, I don't know if you noticed a lot. Do you get a lot of questions on Instagram?
Like from people messaging me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been getting out like a ton lately, and a lot of them, I don't know. I might make a video about this tomorrow, but I'll kind of preview it now. But basically, I would say a lot of people, it kind of annoys me sometimes because like I'm answering all these questions, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, like in about a month, I'm gonna like open my account." I'm like, "What? Like you? Like it's just what are you talking about?" So like I would say to a lot of people, I was like, actually, I might make the video. It's like just get started. Like when I first started, I literally got like Scout IQ, went to a thrift store. I watched one Reezy Resales video, and I was like, I'm gonna try this. I didn't watch like 20 hours of content. Like I was like, let me go try this. And then like what happened? I bought the books, and I was like, huh, how do I list these? Then I watched that video. It's like, oh, like I need lit. And then I just kind of like progressively went down the hole. And then like, oh, like you could get a scanner. Oh, you could get like, and just like kind of built on its own. Some people are just like reaching out to me like, whoa, like I got a Dymo and a Rolo, and like, what else like should I get? I'm just like, oh, like how far are you along? They're like, well, like we didn't start selling yet. Like we need to get like an account open. I'm just like, yeah, like what happens if you don't like it? Like now I guess you could just like arbitrage and like sell it on eBay, but it's just like I don't know. Like a lot of people keep reaching out like, oh, like I'm still doing more research. It's like I don't understand. Like, what is there to research? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard getting started, and also it's kind of like just get started. Some I feel like this happens in my DMs oftentimes. Like I'll just get like a "Can you help me?" question mark. I'm just like
It's like help with what?
like what do you need? Or they're like, I want to do online arbitrage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's tough.
So I just like send them a video that I made, like this is what online arbitrage is, like this is me storefront stalking, and like oftentimes it helps and people are pretty understanding. Like
Yeah,
it's cool people asking questions. Like it's cool that they're even taking the time to reach out, and also it's a thing of like you have to walk before you can run. Like you're not just gonna be selling 30K a month in like 2 months most of the time, and that's okay.
Yeah. What's the last item you looked up that led you down a rabbit hole? A good find. Ooh, that's a good question. I typically, I usually go by brand
Yeah.
or size. So if it's apparel, if like I think like Nike flip flops or whatever, they were on sale. Like I bought them, and then I guess like technically a rabbit hole would be looking at like the other sizes to see if they were profitable. So I've done that. On smaller brands, like obviously Nike's a huge brand, but like maybe if it was like a cosmetic, I would search Amazon for that brand and see what else they have, and then see if I could find that profitably or at stores that I already shop. Or I guess a rabbit hole too is like storefront stalking. Like if you find a profitable item and then look what everyone else is selling, I mean, I think that would be considered a rabbit hole as well.
Yeah.
I feel like you probably come across a lot of different rabbit trails.
Yeah, it's like I could probably list out all the different situations that it happens in. Like let's say I'm repricing or something and I'm on like a product page that I sell regularly, and I just like happen to see the suggested section. I'm like, oh, there's a different model number of this same brand, or like, oh, there's it's often a different model number, or like it'll give a suggested and it's like something very similar but it's a different brand, or I'm just like, I wonder what other docking stations there are out there. And so I search docking station on Amazon and filter by like highest price. And like I see there's a bunch of other ones that list like that are $300. Or I'm on eBay sourcing and like I'm searching for a profitable product and I see a suggested and it's like another model number, or like I see like another like similar brand. And then I see that there's an ASIN that's like selling extremely quickly for this. Like, is it profitable on eBay? And then like it is, like every once in a while, maybe there's like 10 solds a month in the buy. Like for how much I'm looking to buy it for. There's just so many different ways you can find stuff.
I think another one of my favorite ones is like if you find something and then you like Google it and you find it and it's on sale, I would tend to like look at like what else they have on sale. Like usually they're running a specific sale. Like if it's like a toothpaste sale or whatever, like I would look for different brands of toothpaste or like whatever they have on sale, just because that makes it easy to do stuff like that.
Yeah. And also another thing before we get to this question, that also helps me is if you have a profitable item and you like start to type that item into a search bar of Amazon or eBay or maybe even Google, it'll show all the things that other customers are looking for that are very similar to that. And often those are profitable too.
I've also noticed on Target.com, if you click into the search bar, they're showing you like the most searched products or categories that have been searched. So I mean that could be a good way as well. Do you have any recommendations for prep centers that work with booksellers, have fast turnaround times, located in tax reasons? I don't. I've never used a prep center for books. I know Romer the Roamer has one he really likes, so maybe he knows one, but I don't off the top of my head. I mean, the best way to do it, I mean, I just went through this process, is you look up the tax-free states and you start Googling. Actually, Chris Grant, if you go to cleartothe-shelf.com, he just came out with a list of prep centers. Unfortunately, after I did all the research. It was like the day after, and he has like a list of all of them and like what states they're in. So I go to cleartheshelf.com. I think it's the most recent blog post, but if you Googled that together, it would definitely work to find it.
Yeah, just send them an email and say, hey, do you do used items?
Yeah, there you go.
And books are really easy to prep. Like if I was a prep center, I would love to. I mean, maybe I wouldn't like love it, but it's better than what I do. I feel very sorry for whoever preps my stuff.
Yeah, I guess if they have to condition them though, it's kind of a pain, but it would depend.
Well, like you're supposed to condition when you list them at a prep center.
Oh, I don't know that. I've never done that.
Like you're supposed. Oh, yeah. So for used items, if you're doing used to a prep center, they are going to want you to say this is used good and to provide a condition note.
Okay, that makes sense then. All right. Oh, geez, it's already been an hour. These things
time flies.
Bye. Do you have any parting thoughts? I don't have any last questions.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we got through a ton of questions.
This has been a lot of fun and glad to hang out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely like doing stuff like this. And yeah, what would you say to someone who wants to get started, or maybe something you learned recently?
Yeah, to someone who wants to get started, and like the thing is like we're all on the spectrum of just getting started and we're never gonna like arrive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that's perfectly fine, and like just keep learning the thing that's in front of you that you need to learn in order to make things like better, more efficient and stronger, and like that's what you can do. So just keep doing that. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of cliche advice, but
no, I think that's really good advice actually, because I mean, you've grown pretty fast and like I've grown, and I think what you
but did I though? I sold like 10 to 15K a month for like a whole year before I'd kind of more than that.
But I feel like when you okay, that's good. That was kind of what I'm trying to get. Like you did like 10 to 15K that long, and you probably thought like, hey, like once I hit like 40 or 50, like I'm not gonna have any problems, or like once you get, and then like you just have bigger problems. Like it's not necessarily like things do get easier, but things also get more complicated as you like scale up and grow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last question.
What about you, John?
For me, I would say recently would be focus. So I obviously made the decision that I'm not doing merch fulfilled books anymore. I just to run an eBay store, merchant fulfilled, Amazon, FBA, Amazon books, and then like really try to go hard on OA is literally impossible. I kind of was like, oh, nothing's impossible. Like that's what they say, but like to do that, like to do it all really good is impossible. Can it be done? Shitty? Yeah, because that's like kind of how it went the last month. But so yeah, I think focus is important, and it's really hard. Even for me, like I see people on Instagram like posting stuff. I'm like, oh, like what are they doing? Like, what is that? Like, and it like totally distracts me from like, oh, maybe I should like do wholesale, or like maybe I should like no, like you just kind of have to like focus on what you're doing.
Those are like bad rabbit trails.
Yeah, don't go down those rabbit trails. Like nothing rabbit trail on Instagram is gonna lead to anything productive. So yeah, I think like you just really have to focus and kind of like master like kind of what you want to do. And like for me, for books, like I took it like kind of as far as I wanted it, I guess. And now I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm going like OA now, but like I wasn't really sprinkling in like other things like OA like the last couple of years. I was just doing books. So, and I think that's why I was successful, and kind of why I'm struggling with OA a little bit, because like it's not the only focus. What's the most amount of items you've ever returned? For me, I have a very unpopular answer about this. I don't think you should return anything unless it's like broken or busted. Because I feel like if you go into the mindset that you could just return the item if it doesn't work out, you're going to source a lot of shitty products because there's almost like nothing on the line for you. And a second point to that is you're going to get flagged by a lot of stores. Like if you're buying like 10 or 20 of something and like they think it was like sold and stuff, and like you're known to like return them, like they're going to start canceling your orders or like banning your account. I don't know. I think you should eat it and learn from it and like list it on eBay or give it away or donate it. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I bought like a full cart full of like these Nabisco like cookie biscuits from Walmart, and the expiration date was like a month out, and so I couldn't FBA them, and the merch fulfilled was like a huge pain, so I returned them all, and the lady like hated me. But I feel
like something like that, like that's kind of like if the expiration date on the shelf is only a month out, like that's some like Ollie stuff. Like you can't be doing that at Walmart.
Dude, honestly, maybe I should have just ate it like you said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in that case, yeah,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I hate returning stuff because it's like, man, I spent the time sourcing stuff, and I'm gonna spend like 30 minutes returning this, like so inefficient. But yeah, so I try not to return stuff if I can. But
I do. I've actually started getting into a bad habit. I just found it's not worth the time to, if Walmart or Target shorts me one of something or like something's damaged, it has to be like a lot. Like the other day, something like it was kind of like a shampoo or something, like kind of exploded because it was packed poorly and got all over everything. So in that case, I'm like, yeah, I want all my money back. So I bought like 12 of these. But like if it was just the one, like just because I've tried to return stuff at Walmart or Target or any of these places, and like it seems like an easy process, but then like all of a sudden, like I've had this happen at Walmart multiple times where like, oh, just click print to print your label, and it never prints. So now you have to like call customer service. Like they're kind of like it'd be easier for me just to eat like the cost and like just move on with my life and just like write it off at the end of the year. Yeah, kind of learn from that. Keep up the great content. I would say it took me 50 hours before I finally opened my account. I mean, everyone, yeah. I mean, if that's what it took, like that's what it takes. I'm like, yeah. See, I guess it's like easy for me to say because I had like a decent reselling business doing furniture on Facebook Marketplace, so I really understood the risk. And I was like, oh, this is just a different platform. It works different ways. But yeah, maybe if you don't know like what reselling is or like the kind of the opportunity, I could see watching more.
Yeah, it's like a faith thing. People don't start their Amazon account because they don't have faith that they're actually going to make money, and they don't have a full plan set in place of how they're going to make money. So they're like, oh, I need to have a full plan of how I'm going to make my target amount of money before I even start an account, rather than just knowing that like, okay, like I don't know what the plan is yet, but I do know that I need an Amazon account, whether I'm going to sell grocery items or whether I'm doing books or whether I'm doing online arbitrage. Like you need a seller account. So,
and I think sometimes too, like I know with me, like sometimes I will buy a course or like a piece of software that I want to like use, but like haven't got around to it yet. And knowing that I'm paying like 30 or 40 bucks a month for it, I was like, oh, like I'm going to learn this, like, or I'm going to get rid of it. So like if you have an Amazon seller account and like you're just paying them $40 a month or whatever it is, like, I don't know. Maybe you'll just get moving quicker.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all the questions. Thanks everyone for coming. Like this was a ton of fun. Thanks for being here, Seth.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So go check out Seth Checkmate Flips on Instagram. His YouTube is linked below. He does a lot of good. He makes my like reels look terrible. He has a really good job.
You have the more creative reels, though. I like your reels a lot.
Yeah, I definitely need to. That's my next step. Like get a VA for help with content and stuff like that, and make it more professional. But yeah, your stuff has been coming out really good. You'll probably see clips from here on his.
Oh, John, I'm gonna be tagging you. Like it's gonna be like a week straight of me tagging you.
Works for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for being here. And yeah, this was a ton of fun. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
All right. Peace. See you guys. Bye.